Alright. I think I'm back. We're back live. We're back live for today, and yeah, I figured we'll add a bit of yeah. Let me just do a quick tweet. Um, we will do a quick tweet on this, and then we go ahead. All right, so welcome everyone. Yeah, Saturday stream. Good to be back here. We will, I think, in those videos, streams, I'm going to be giving. It's not just going to be build time, but also just perspective on the market, and hopefully it's going to be guided by our tools to give us a wider bias on market directions. So as it stands, first talk about the market and then talk about where we stand on the product. Launch is going to be tomorrow, so it's going to be an exciting time for today. For this end of week. Quick market bias is, my view is that, if we look at BTC here and the wider ad market, is I think we've had a very large retracement, and it will add obviously thoughts are a lot more structured, but wider view is we've had a lot of a very large retracement on BTC, 50% type move. The buy and sells here that you see is from one of my bots, but we have essentially confirmation that it's a bear market for BTC, and that on the backside of that we also have equities that are starting to feel a bit shaky, and AI spenders are doing a lot better than AI capex, and so overall bias is that we are entering into a range bound environment, and so you want to be, I think to me here is, and I'm not doing it on TradingView, but what we will do is once the prop firm is live, we will be sharing the live accounts of the prop firm. I could have actually done it today, but we'll do for session of tomorrow to look at just starting a new account, potentially do a challenge account on overall bias for the market. But as it stands, the view is that this is a range bound environment, and so you should fade extremes. So if I think to me you have top of the range at 72 and bottom of the range towards 60 something, and you want to be, I think price is likely going to just take liquidity out of the shorts on the upside and then just range for a bit. Historically those situations don't resolve rapidly, and so I'm currently on this weekend spike that we had. I'm positioned short, so I'm short the market on different assets, Doge being one. And so I'm really playing it the way, I think you can define a wider range here for alts, but view here is that basically using alts to express momentum, but you want to have a risk management that's we could actually just put on that trade so you see live what I'm thinking about. But for example, why is the order book taking so much place? But for example, I would have a position that looks like this. That would essentially, you would essentially try to enter here, and then the downside would be there. The risk ratio is not that good, but I would try and manage this along the BTC price action. So yeah, that's for just market view. On the upside, I wanna. So I did a bit of cleaning for the launch of the app, but I was thinking this morning, how can we? Because the concept of the app is you have a view and you want to see if that's like what's the market telling you about this view. So is it that the market thinks it's a valuable info or not? And so you want to, I think you want to go a step further. Is today the backtest is only the capabilities that we have. But I was thinking, and that's not for, that's more on the roadmap, but I was thinking, what if it's a skill that's is giving you feedback on, almost as if you had a trading coach. And so I'm trying to think, well, that's what I've started to build, but there are a bunch of skills in crypto, like as a trader or just a market participant. One being momentum trading, the other being order flow trading. And I was trying to build this morning a skill, which is a skill around order flow trading. And so how can we leverage AI to teach, I guess, just an AI participant about order flow? And accordingly, if you have a new entrant in the market, like a new person in the market, hey, Sankluch, butchering your name, but welcome on the stream. So the question is, how can we get someone that has a skill to give you feedback on your thought? So we're extending, I think, slightly beyond the initial capabilities of the app, but I was very curious to see if we can do this stuff. And so that's what I wanna iterate upon today. It's gonna be quite a challenge, as you basically wanna train on order flow trading skills. And if some of you don't know what order flow is the, I guess, just as it stands, it's ability to further analyze order books and just having a better understanding of volume profiles, having a better understanding of, what's the, like, who's the taker, who's the maker, and just order book depth. And so it's all about the technicalities of orders in a market. And so that's very technical, and I think it is typically something that an AI could, if provided enough data, I think an AI could perform well and eventually do come up with trading strategies. So my goal for today, and that's a very ambitious goal, is to train an AI on that specific topic to understand all the data points that's required for an order flow trader, and then have an AI give thoughts on the profile of an asset. So we've already started to do it. If you're just new on the stream here, we've started to mention what's our overall bias on the market, which is today just down mostly because of actually just all the flow analysis that I've done told me it was mainly a short squeeze, and that's typically what you would want to have the agents tell you. Alright, so we basically have a real-time order flow data persistence pipeline, which is aggregating trades from Binance future web sockets. And we will it's a big piece of work, and I widely underestimate the piece of work. So let's see. Can you confirm the web socket is live with Binance? So what I want is, if we can get all the tools of that an order flow trader uses, and then get an AI to get trained on the historical data, and then give us a bias every 5 minutes on the market and put on a trade, that'd be crazy. That's what I'm thinking. And so if we can get this to be done with, like, if we can find, there's definitely edge to be found in flow trading. And so if we can get, I'm going there with a very naive approach, but if we can get some sort of edge in flow trading, then that means if someone has a strategy around flow trading, we'll have someone that's knowledgeable to tell and to backtest that eventually. So what I'm thinking is, if we don't succeed there, worst case is we still have the tools added in our capabilities. So for example, we have whale trades, we have liquidations, which today is, and for the exercise here, you can say in the order flow tab, can you display the liquidations and the whale trades? So we'll get like a feed of all of that and see that directly. We're taking just one contract, which is Binance BTC, and we want to see if we indeed get the right data feed. So this is exactly the trade I'm taking at the moment, not on this account specifically, but as we said, we will be sharing from the prop firm account our trades, so you can eventually tell the trades if you're interested. So I'm currently short Zcash and BTC mainly. And we're getting this alright, so we're getting a live feed with, is it? Yeah, I think this is the live feed now. And it's, if we can actually get there, it would be a phenomenal breakthrough for the capabilities of the app. So very very excited about this. So what we're getting now is a live feed panel that will stream all the liquidations, and then I think what you want is to have a real-time analysis of order books and then backfill the data so that we can start training our agent on order flow. And if at some point we can even get some trades, that would be phenomenal. But I doubt we have enough time for this. Alright, so you can see the liquidations that come in real time from Binance, and you can see the whale trades. I think this is coming from Binance. And let's get a better understanding of the toolkit we have at the moment. We have liquidations from coins I have never heard about, but I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure what's the what full capabilities do we have, and if we inject those liquidations in real time. So, alright, so there's no live feed. Alright, let's do a recap. Can you recap all the tools that are used by order flow traders in crypto? I just want to do an overview of where we are and all the just the capabilities that are required, see if we can build them today. And I'm going a bit on the side here compared to the scope of the app, but what I'm saying is, worst case, we have the data set to make the app a bit more capable. So you see how crazy that is? We can get like a liquidation feed and a whale trade feed really easily, and so this is typically going to be useful as an order flow trader. All right, so what our current tool has is the footprint charts, volume profiles, CVD, liquidation feed, whale trade detection, open interest, funding rates, order book depth, heat map, exchange flows. So liquidation maps, we don't really, we could get them from Hyperliquid. We could get them from HyperDash. That info, I'm not sure how this is displayed. Let's see. So what I would want is on this specific order flow section, if we can display all the data, so the volume profile, long short ratio. Let's see if we can implement those 2 items. Can you implement? I'm not sure how you would implement that as a standalone solution. Hey, we're currently full on the stream. Welcome everyone. We started the stream giving our bias, and then we are trying to build a skill for the app, which is the skill of an order flow trader. So we're building out all the tools required for an order flow trader. And so what I want is at the end of the stream, we have our agent that runs every 5 minutes or perhaps every minute. And that's looking at the BTC contract on Binance and is telling us what the bias should be, whether that's up or down. And typically why I've mentioned the absorption is and imbalances is this is a very good indicator to see if the markets, like if shorts are like if the spot sellers are taking too much, like if spot CBD is dropping. It's hard to explain. It's there's quite to unpack on this. I'm not sure why I got into this stuff, to be honest. But like typically a good strategy that you can implement, and that's why this is not going to be work that's wasted, is if let's say you have a long, like a big short squeeze on one contract, then you can, like you have a lot of shorts that's coming in, and then you notify that you have a lot of spot sellers. That means that you can confidently go short because liquidity has been cleared on the upside, and you have a lot of spot sellers that show up. So basically, to squeeze again is going to be hard. Obviously, you need to take into account the funding rates, cross exchanges, etc. But I think we can get there, and hopefully it's something that the AI is going to be. So if we look at just, we had Siren. Siren is not listed there, but let's look at the liquidations that come in and see. These are very weird contracts. I've never heard of these names. We actually don't have any. We don't have much liquidations coming in. And so once we have all of the tools, I'm gonna be asking the AI to want to make sure we display them on the front end, and then we backfill the data and then backtest the data. We backfill the data, then we train, like we get an agent to look at the historical data and try and find patterns on the different time frames. All right. Let's see. Live feed panel. Alright, absorption, high volume at the price level. Okay, we'll just try and go ahead with that implementation. And we might not even succeed today. We might just be a complete failure, but I think it is worth. That's what weekends are for. Just trying to see if what we think about is even doable. But I'm pretty convinced, though. I'm pretty convinced it is possible to build, like to train an order flow trader to at least give you a bias, because this especially on altcoins, I think there is value to be found there. Obviously, we only look at Bitcoin now, but I think if you look at more exotic contracts, and then this is where there is, I think, to me, a good edge to be found. Like if you understand, you have a very big seller that's pretty much really wanted to exit, then you can confidently go short if on the other side you don't have anyone to absorb on the spot side. So that means if we succeed in doing so, order flow being a pretty technical one, but then that means then you can create another skill, which is, I guess skill is, I view trading with like different professions. You have some momentum traders, you have pure technical analysis, you have order flow traders, and if we can create these types of traders, then that means we will find some good edge in the market, and that's to me what all of this should be about. As in, the value on the app is only going to be found if people can get a better edge. So let's see what's currently running is we are getting some order flow signal detectors in. And what I want to do after that is if we can get all the indicators in real time on the order flow tab, would be really, really cool. And the end game to me for that is, here I've forked the AI trading tab, but let's say you want your agent to learn a new skill, then this could be technical analysis as a skill, and then the end game I think for this app is if you can have the end game for the app is if you can have all the skills built, and then you can build your own trader like you want to, then it's really, really powerful. But that's exactly what I wanted to build this morning. But I was like, you want to go step by step and first start with the flow trading, as it's the one that's, if macro is gonna, like if you can get a macro analyst and we already have some of the capabilities that are required for this, but realistically you would want to look at the VIX, what's the DXY doing, overall bias, but I find that to be quite hard. If you want to know, I was lost yesterday trying to build this stuff, but for example, if I take, I think maybe this one, not sure. I have an early implementation of the macro trader. Yeah, that's there we go. This is what I was trying to build yesterday, but honestly, big failure, because I was trying to. So the goal for that was, if you package strategies and then you have a trader, but then they don't have an overall bias and don't have further context, then they will just act on strategies. But I feel like you can have better edge if given context. So here in the example is, yesterday we had CPI data, and so if we know exactly what what the price is usually doing ahead of CPI, then you can hedge your exposure. Let's say you were long, that's what the bot did, is it posed the strategy because of the CPI, and I feel like if you combined then the macro trader and the order flow trader, then you can have really competing bot, and that's the end game, but we're like weeks out from this, or at best, yeah. All right, so we have this order flow signals detector that's done. All right, can you list again all the tools that the brain of the flow trader uses? XBGM, welcome the screen on the stream. Sorry, we're trying to implement skills, so AI trading skills. We're trying to, because the app today is very static. It's about your strategies. We want to have something that's a bit more sophisticated. And the goal would be that we teach someone like about how to trade on very specific skills. So today our order flow, we're picking order flow. We are looking at the Binance contract specifically and trying to teach an AI how to analyze this. All right. So now we want to see. Can you display on the order flow tab? Wrap all the data points in real time used by the flow trader. For visualization's sake, I wanted to get this all on the screen, and I would say it's likely at the end of today we just don't. This ends up in being, I guess, just not successful of a trade. Well, not of a trade, but of a concept. But we'll try it. We'll give this an hour and a half more. See if we can get to the bottom of this. So it does take a lot of effort because we're not using any third-party tool besides just the raw Binance API. And so it's basically building an order flow system from scratch and then having a brain interpret the data in real time, or close to real time. So we're waiting for the agent to get cooking. What I was interested in is if we can retrieve the liquidation heat map from Hyperliquid, if there is a way to do this stuff. Yeah, I know Hyperdash is likely. That's the legacy product. Legacy.hyperdash. This one, I know, provides the heat map, which is super relevant. So if you're, let's say, an order flow trader, you know that if the price is approaching 66,000, let's say, because you have a lot of liquidity to be found below, then you likely sweep this. And then conversely, on the upside, if you know you have a lot of shorts to be liquidated on the upside, you might want to grab this equity. And that's all data that's of value, I think, for, because although it's only, because typically, would I be able to trade just in robotic coins as a strat? Well, no, today we are mainly, well, just catering to crypto, mostly because our data stack is, it's all crypto. But ideally we have, I mean, once we find some success with that tool, then we can probably extend that. But it's not going to be before definitely mid this year, because there is still so much to be found, well, so much to be discovered there. Just want to see on the, whenever I see a tool, I'm just trying to understand how the data is found and if we can get the underlying data. So because we can probably index robotic coins in crypto. Today we mainly cater to perps, so if there is any robotic coins, virtual might be one, but today it's not for like the smaller on-chain coins that we cater to. So let's see, we will get the display of the whole data. I'm not sure exactly where the liquidity heat map is. That's definitely not on this endpoint. I'm not sure where this website's just been unreliable. I know that they've changed, but if we can get feature liquidation. I'm not. Hey Benji, what's up? Just trying to see which endpoint can we use to retrieve the liquidation heat map, because otherwise I'm not sure how we would go about rebuilding this from scratch if we would ever want to do it again. The goal again today is try and think how can we build a specific skill for a trader, which is how can we teach a bot to become an order flow trader. And so we're compiling all the stack of data that we need, and that is useful as that you use as an order flow trader. So we have a bunch of the data already, and now we'll want to display this on the screen. So we have, I will have to clean a bit the context, because today our order flow trader is looking at sentiment, which has really nothing to do with pure order flow. So I fear, we have, the order flow thing is really, really, really bad. Let's see if we can activate the brain. I've actually, overnight, I had our macro trader run and just completely kill all of our credits. So if I run now the trader, I have no clue. So now we're inside the brain of a trader and see what he thinks. But to be honest, I feel like I have to redo the entire architecture for this stuff. Alright, this is what the trader's telling us. The footprint delta shows bearish pressure. Price is trading near the value area midpoint, okay, which suggests equilibrium rather than a directional breakdown. And so, okay, we understand it's got the context about the data, but we want to go, I think we want to go a step further. Is, can you only display the order flow data in the order flow tab? Show them visually and tell me what sorry, what makes sense? I don't know, you said I don't know if this makes sense, but I don't know what you're exactly referring to. Let's I don't know, I just don't feel we're going in the right direction. So we're getting the whole data set, sure. But the brain data sources is can you only split it off for show them visually for the order flow? Yeah, I'm not sure what I got myself into. So today is really just more for research than anything else. Okay. Wait, pending for validation. Let me see if I can unlock you. So we did in earlier discussions, we did give our bias on the market. We took Doge. I mean, Doge is a way I expressed more of a bearish view, and what we expect is to have a reversion back to the mean. Alright, shield mode is on. I'm such a boomer, I can't see. Alright, I've turned off moderation so you can post your message again. So typically, if you can, yeah, I do think we'll be able to launch this weekend. I don't want to make this today like a, yeah, this is broken. I don't want to QA the strategy, but it's going to be a big of a rush tomorrow. And I have, how many people do we have? We've got like 100+ people on the wait list, and we will, I start to email. It's going to be a slow start, but I'll email them tomorrow as soon as this is ready, and then it's going to be still gated next week, but then we will unlock it for everyone. The key to unlock it is to see the success rate. Yep. Alright, so I'm reading your text, but as a new retail trader, Peter DiCarlo trading strategy around TA and specific volume profiles that you can find on I think that'd be a cool thing if we can import. That's what I've started to do. Is if you can, my ultimate goal with this is if you can create your agent and then tell, like, if we can get all the skills required to be a good trader, like you get all the data, etc., and then, like for example, my brain is speaking every 6 hours, and based on the thing I believe is interesting, so order flow being one. And then if you can add data, so the tab here was the knowledge tab. For example, on the order flow, you would be able to upload a PDF and then get the AI to learn about this. Yeah, on risk control, for the agents, you'll be able to control the risk. I mean, when you create a new agent, you are able to see. All right, so the agent is called Benji. You are able to go with the conservative approach, balanced approach, and so that tells you the leverage. The leverage that you can use and the risk per trade and the max position, etc. So a given trader would be, would not take the, would not have the same return as well as the drawdown. And on the next streams, because we have wait. This is private info that you see here, but we have the app that's live, and I can actually start now. Don't go on this one. UI is fairly bad, but and that's not. We're pushing a big UI update. We'll officially start the QA next week on this. And we'll be able to put on some trades. So the trade of... Alright, so that's... Actually, the UI improved here, which is cool. But I can... So that's my... I guess that's my prop firm here. I can... buy a change. Buy it just now. Wait, actually, can we? Because I think this is just testnet data, or wait, the fuck am I doing now? Wait, sandbox environment? If I start to leak my credit card info, it's gonna be funny. Card information, Stripe, sandbox. I know there's a specific pattern for the card info. Yeah, alright. I can use this one. If you're, if you know Stripe, you would know that you can buy some. Alright, cool, let's pay. We're not actually paying for it, but we're going through the flow of the prop firm, which is cool. I did not know we had the new, alright, so that works, cool. And then we should get, because we've hooked up the new thing, I'm not sure we actually have the challenge that's displayed now. That'd be a shame. Alright, so we'll have to troubleshoot this. It's a bit disappointing. If I go to my settings, yep. I can't put on the trade right now. Let's do it again, see if, because I could troubleshoot, but then it's gonna take some time. And sometimes I'm just completely retarded. Bind the account, see if that goes through, and then what we want is what I said is if we can start expressing trades on the streams and then keep a tab of this. But for whatever reason, I don't get my. Okay, I actually have the data now, so let's see if I can go to the challenge tab and investigate what's going on. Not sure what's the path. Alright, so I just look like a complete, looks like complete failure today. Okay, we'll have to troubleshoot further. So let's go back to what we were initially going to do. Which is displaying the data panel for the order flow. And our data panel is here, and we have more of an interesting approach here with the whale trades, the liquidations, volume profile, etc. Footprint delta. What I want is, can you display it full screen? Display it full screen, then have the brain conversation on the side. I really want to discuss more about this. What's cool is we have this footprint delta, which is good to have, and then if we don't succeed, it's anyway going to be useful for later. And while I'm on it, let me troubleshoot proper, see what's going on. Proper. I'm asking Claude, I forgot the path, but I believe that's just a front-end issue that we don't get the active challenges. And, well, it's actually not, I believe, but we have the log here somewhere. We can see that I have 2 challenges purchased. Or at least I could see it before. Just if we can get the path. I don't have access to a DB for this, so I can't tell you just now. Let's see. Let's see. So it's gonna build a whole dashboard, and then next step is we will try and backfill the data, and then trade the agent based on that backfill data. So it's gonna try to find patterns, and what we will do is let's see if we can integrate Hyperliquid as well. So you have two views. If you guys have any questions regarding Xbull or anything, you can drop them in the chat, and we can have we can have a look at this. So today is Valentine's Day, so this is girlfriend's not happy on the stream, but it is what it is. And looks like we will be able to get the change path and put on some trades. The reason why it's a mess is because we just had one of our front engineer look at the code and refactor some of that. So if you had looked at the stream a few days ago, the UI was completely different, and it's looking a lot more high fidelity versus the prototype that we have. It's gonna be crushed, like it is definitely crunch time at the moment. There's moments I would like to have BLT not to sleep, but let's see. All right, cool. We have this dashboard now, and we also have signals here. So we've got the funding rates. That's a cool thing. Volume profile is good. I'm gonna ask. Yes. So no, it depends on which infrastructure we're looking at. Proper being the prop firm. Like the main thing we're building. Like when I said 10 million revenue. First, I really think we're gonna get to those numbers, but Proper is, let's say the product, and then you have some side products. Like our goal is to create the most transparent, trading universe, because prop firm lack transparency, and crypto offers that transparency. So we want to build something that's transparent, but fundamentally help traders become better traders. And so we want to offer them tools. And that's where I come in, is I think at some point I might discuss about my trading background, but I had periods where on the top exchanges I was, in the top 10 of like yearly P&L. So I do, like there was a period of time where I was very good and doing this quite often. So I understand that there is value to be found, and I understand like you can be good as a trader, and we want to offer those tools. So for Proper, I'm going to be vibe coding it, but we have a review process for everything that goes into the code base. Where do you get all the info from the order flow dashboard from? So for this, currently there is no beta environment. It's all going to prod and there is no review, so that's 100% vibe coded. But prop firm is every submission I make, and it goes through our lead engineer, like CTO, and then it goes up to the dev environment, and then it gets upgraded to prod if it goes to prod. But we currently don't have a prod environment. We only have a beta environment, which is this one. All right, so we have this data almost in real time. Let's see if I run it now. Let's see what it's gonna say. Yeah, there's no directional bias from the order flow. Can you backfill the data? So I want to backfill the data for each for this futures contract. So if we can backfill the data, let's see if it's actually doable, because we're using WebSockets. So what's interesting to see is this is opening in real time from the whale trades. And now I'm asking Claude to backfill the data for all of this. And so the capability that we're adding here, so I'm just going to turn on the light. The capability that we are adding is then going to tell us on a specific contract, if the footprint delta is skewed towards, is bearish, what happens on the price on a 5-minute time frame, and that's gonna be cool stuff. Now we're trying to see if we can actually backfill the data to train, because we can't just train it on new data. But like, for example, the context it lacks here is that it says it's a long squeeze, but if we look at BTC, if we had given more context, like, it's okay, sure, it's a long squeeze on a very short time frame, but if we look beyond just the 1 hour, or even the 10-minute, the 4 hour, it's clearly a short squeeze. So if there is value, like, once we get all the data, we'll probably try and curate the data a bit, like add more data points, and then ask the agent to try and find patterns between this on the Binance contract. We know it's limited because it's only Binance, but if we can potentially try and add Hyperliquid, that would be cool. And what I know, the assumption I take is, I'm taking here a very naive approach, but I know personally that order flow works better on the smaller coins. It's just better, like, it's much easier because you have all of the quant firms actually doing what I'm doing just now, like trying to find pattern they're extracting a lot of value out of the market. And because they can put on large positions, it works, but we will try and see if we can apply this to smaller contracts. So for example, to take the example here, but like if we filter this depending on the open interest, I think on stuff like lighter, it's a much smaller contract. Infer a lot, like extract value from the market a lot more. It's like if you were to, I still do think that there's a bit of value to be found in the BTC chart as another flow trader. And if we can get that skill going, then we'll plug. We'll try and see what trade is the trader, like the other flow trader doing, and then do a test run, like given a week, what's the result, and then I think go live on Hyperliquid. In prod, we already have an agent that's I guess live in prod. We also have a vault actually, and we have you see the trade that was put on. It traded. Let's actually check the performance. See, it's very minimal capital, huh? But let's see the vault so far. That one is on a 5-minute time frame, so let's see what the vault performance. I don't suspect that to be any good. Yeah, it's actually negative, and I think this is mostly driven by fees because it's the trading history is quite thorough. It trades roughly every, I don't know, 3-4 hours on very tight with very tight risk rewards. So it's just getting eaten by the fees. Then once we have the data backfilled, we will ask the AI to try and find patterns in the BTC contract and see if there is any edge to be found, like any strategies to be found or patterns, and we'll only have the nice 90 days of data. So if we can find patterns, and then accordingly a pattern gives us a strategy, and then get that strategy coded in Python by the system, and then we'll already have the infra to go from Python to signals. But let's see if I know for sure the Binance contract isn't gonna be the main thing. Like we need to look at a lot more contracts. So we're backfilling the whole data, but you can see how crazy it is. I'm still fascinated by how good this is. So what's good is I've made 44 cents, so potentially we'll be able to buy a flower for the lady. We'll see. But I'm liking it so far. I think we can imagine how good of a companion that would be. Let's say I'm on Hyperliquid now, and I'm just trading, and then I have my AI trader on the side that's telling me, hey, you might want to cut your long on BTC because we have, or like here, on my personal account, I'm short Doge, and potentially it's going to tell me, hey, on the Doge contract specifically, I see a lot of aggressive spot buyers. You need to cut the trade, otherwise you'll just get blown up. That sort of AI guided trading is, I think, really, really cool. And yeah, reminder that we're launching the app. Like for the basic strategies, we're launching the app tomorrow. Yeah, this is quite exciting stuff. I'm really excited. I think I'm excited because I do think there is value to be found there. And I think we're quite close to it. I would say though, it is an expensive endeavor because we have this macro trader that gave us a bias, and that, not sure why, but for testing, I was running it every 5 minutes, and then it just consumed, I guess, slept for like, I don't know, 8 hours, so it was like, how many seconds is there in, how many times 5 minutes you have? 12 times 8, so 96 calls were made in that time. So, and it took me like, $10 worth of credit, so it's quite bad. And I'm sure a lot of people would actually use this AI guided trader, notably the prop firm users. Only getting about 20 days of recorded data, but I do know we can backfill this a bit more. So footprint delta is bearish. Macro is pretty bearish, and it is taking some work though. Its code base is starting to be pretty dense. They're just running. I could run multiple agents at the same time, but it's gonna, well, already doing quite a few things. And yeah, you can see this dashboard is really not not great. We'll probably, hey Lee Lavery, what's up? What? Vibe coding trading tools. Oh, you guys hear the prayer? Yeah, I'm in Dubai, and it's prayer time. Yeah. Actually, Ramadan is pretty soon. I'm not doing the Ramadan, but a few friends are doing it. Still downloading the first month of data. Let's see. I know for sure it's gonna. We'll try and do a test run to get the order flow AI trader to use the Binance data, but I'm not quite sure it's going to be conclusive just yet. Alright, so that's all that is basically all of that is processing. No, the thing is, it is just the question is, do we know how much volume is made by prop firms? Total payout also, is it hard to tell? A few. So why we come in and why we're interested in this stuff is because it overall just lacks transparency, and we believe there is value in having a new player that's really trying to get traders to be good. All right, cool. So we're starting to get some signals, but I have no clue why we're getting the 110 signals. Is it the order book depth? I have no clue. What we want now can a trader flow agent learn from the BTC historical data and find patterns? I have no clue why the signals. Is it because we're backfilling it from like a year ago almost? I'm not sure. What I would want to have is if we can have this dashboard in the capabilities, that would be great. Because all of that, like the well trades, etc., that is not, because it's just so new data, it's just not giving me any good insights. And that's only Binance. I think if you do it on smaller tokens, I think this is where it's really useful. But then our data pipeline is just gonna be crazy. You see now, what we know is there is short squeeze, sure, just because of, I mean, it's not hard to know. And well, so are your net buying. But you still have a footprint delta that's bearish. So if we can have this dashboard that updates in real time, and then you have the trader that every minute or so is telling you, hey, you know, there is a divergence here, go short or go long with tight risk management, then you're winning. So you see here, for example, we've got a lot of whale selling after short squeeze. So one can infer you have a lot of absorption at the top. So is that a good moment to short? That's typically what I would wanna, what I would wanna know. And then trigger the potential short on this. That would be really low time frame. And then, yeah, I think our agent is a bit bugged. And I would think it would be, I think it would be almost an app on its own, like on its own, to have this order flow trader on like let's say I would overlay my positions. And I would, well, I have no positions on the vault. Well, we actually closed the position, did we? No. Yeah, we actually have our agent that closed the position. Closed it just here. Closed it just here, and now we out of the position. So you know, this actually works. And you see you can see here that the trade was closed with a P&L that's positive, but very small, and because we have quite a lot of fees, we don't. But this 5-minute scalping strategy is quite well. You have you basically just, it's very small, but it does work. All right, let's try and get our AI to find patterns, and then we'll probably leave it there if we don't find enough time. So most of the time, everything is going to be bearish when things go down, and then bullish when things go up. But what you want to know is when there is discrepancies. So when things don't look normal, and that especially is useful on altcoins. And I think my agent is just hallucinating at this point. We could have probably looked at an order flow tool. Order flow tool, crypto, and probably just get some APIs. Yeah, ExoChart is one. They aggregate Binance, Bybit, etc. But I don't think this is too hard. Like, we can probably just I don't think, and if they have an API, it's probably just a super expensive one. And I don't see, like, if you give me a week, I probably can vibe code ExoChart. It's a big claim, but I do think it's doable. So some of you that wonder what's footprint delta, let me show you the definition. Yeah, I mean, to put it more simply, it's I guess the easier way to see it is that buyers are lifting the ask on the order book, and conversely, sellers are hitting the bids more aggressively. So here, what this tells us is that sellers are a little more aggressive than buyers. I mean, explained very simply, but that's why it's bearish. I just wonder, why do we get, what price action is that? Yeah, many bugs. The trick is I don't want to, I know I'd be tempted to fix this tomorrow, but we can't not release that tomorrow. And now we're trying to get, I always tend to do this stuff, but we're trying to get more sophisticated than it has to be. And that's not good. And yeah, our agent's basically bugged. No. So let's see if we can get something cooking here. Potentially another angle for the app here is if we add this in the capabilities, if you add this like order flow and then you see the whole data, potentially that's a pro functionality that some users might wanna pay for. Let's see, our AI is hallucinating quite a bit here. I think you can analyze different tickers. For example, on the Doge position I'm on, not sure if the liquidation heat map is going to show up. Alright, minimum 3 months, So what we're trying to do is now to get the AI to learn patterns. Yep. Yeah, essentially do some pattern mining. That's how they call it. So we have 3 months of backfill data. So everything that we have here, we've got 3 months of this, and see if there's any value to be found. We have no retroactive statistical mining. Nobody has measured when absorption fires bullish, what happens to price. Okay, that's a bit of a simplistic approach, but yeah, I fear we're not going to be able to cover everything for today. Okay, let's try and see what we get. See what we get out of this. It's a long shot, and once we have this, we're probably gonna be ending the stream, and then tomorrow is gonna be. We'll discuss again about the market, see if there's any change in positioning, but that's just weekend, so don't think we can expect a ton of stuff to happen, and then we will be curating the app and then releasing the app to the public. And I know this example is going to be not enough because you would want to also have the spot market data to learn about the other books there, and then you would want to have check other contracts from other exchanges because not all flows go through Binance, although it's the biggest contract. But I think here, if we come back tomorrow, I would say this is a short. on those, and I would love the agent to tell me this, but I'm not sure. No, so let's get this piece going, and then piece of work going, and then we will end the stream. If we can get some patterns, that would be cool. What I fear is, because we only have 90 days of data, I would want to backfill that at least 2-3 years to see historically what changed in markets. Because like in the 90 days, it's likely it was just a bear market, and so the pattern is likely not gonna apply once we flip back in a bullish trend. But yeah, we'll stream tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday, but we're committed to our 365-day challenge. So let's get cooking on the stuff. Let's get cooking on this. This Doge position is not something I want to keep for too long, because you have this X payment thing of a Milan, and so it could probably get some speculative flows. All right, it's well, you know what? I think this is taking a bit too long, though. I probably just gonna end the stream now, because it's also I need to actually prepare for Valentine's Day dinner, so I'll have to end the stream just now. But I catch you back tomorrow as we learn about the progress we've made on this specifically, and then we get ready for the app launch. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and yes.